Bonjour, Mishko Paganon, Queen Edition Mangdo Dam. Hi, everybody. It's Sandy Boucher here once again. I'm Red Thunderbolt Woman of the Loon Clan, a proud member of Seine River First Nation in Treaty 3 territory in Northern Ontario, and I'm wondering if you missed me. Well, I'm kind of hoping actually that you noticed I wasn't here, and that may not have been the case. The reality is, this podcast is new. Outside of a small group of dedicated followers, most people don't know it exists, but I have faith. And I believe at one point people will be able to look back and listen to these older episodes, and the teachings will still be powerful. The lessons they contain will still help. So the fact that it's a small group now, I'm okay with that. But my small group may have noticed that I didn't do a podcast last week. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today. Not the fact that I specifically didn't do a podcast, because that would be a little self-centered. What I wanted to talk about or ask you is if you know where your line is. And what I mean by that is, do you know what your max is? Do you know where that line is before you fall into complete exhaustion? Where that line is before you lose your temper? Where that line is before you pack it in and give up? That line. Because if there's one thing that my 59 years has taught me, is the importance of that line. In my younger days, I think like most people, I went over the line. I didn't know I had crossed it till I fell. I didn't know I had crossed it till I had a total physical, emotional, or both breakdown. I didn't know I had crossed the line until I lost my temper. And nowadays, I'm just way more in tune with my body and way more in tune with where the line is. It reminds me of my mom. She used to always say that you realize your brain is only one of the organs in your body, and that you need to listen to them all because they're trying to keep you alive and healthy. But often we get lost in our head. We get lost in our ego, and we think it's a good idea to override our body. We don't stop to eat, even though our body is telling us it's hungry. To the point, we abuse that so much that our body stops telling us it's hungry. And some people pride themselves on that. I know this because I used to be one of them. And I had to consciously reset my own body and teach my own body that it's okay to have needs. We talk about how we do that to other people, but we don't even acknowledge that we do it to ourselves. And I was one of those people that would just grab another coffee when my body was telling me I was tired. And I thought that was a good idea. Again, if you could see the look on my face right now, the lunacy is the fact that I thought overriding my own body was a good idea. And I think this probably hits home with way more impact now that I'm older, because now I'm in the age of paying the consequences for all the years of self-abuse. So, back to not doing a podcast. This past week, ending yesterday, I had full day events for the entire 5 days. And some people out there might be thinking, so what? I work 9 to 5 every single day. What's your flipping point? I get it. I would also suggest that those people have no idea how much energy we project when we are keeping the attention of a room full of people. And I'm going to add another level to that you may not understand how much emotional labor I pay to do this work. When I'm talking about, like I've always said, reconciliation is a conversation for non-Indigenous people. It is lived reality. It is pain. And in some cases, it is pleading to be heard for the Indigenous that do this work. I'm not doing it because it's fun. I'm doing it because I pray the non-Indigenous I speak to can actually hear me and that they actually care enough to change the things they're doing. I am standing before them vulnerably saying, this hurts. Please change what you're doing. That takes a lot out of a person. And I did have a couple amazing participants this week. They came up to me on the breaks and said something like, wow, you must be exhausted when this is done. And I so appreciated their words because they got me. It was like I suddenly became visible. And I joked around that at 4:30 at the end of the seminar, I didn't even know my name. Getting through that week it was like running a marathon. That's the only thing I can equate it to. So it involved very deliberate living. I wonder when's the last time you did that? Interesting. I had to consciously get up early in the morning to make sure I had time to do the background stuff of my business, make sure my emails went out, make sure my blog posts went out. I got up nice and early because I don't like being stressed and rushed in the morning. And then I had to consciously go to bed incredibly early to give my body the rest it needed. There was one night I was in bed at 7, not even going to lie, and a couple that I was in bed by 8, and I get up at 5. So it was a week. And last Friday, when I would have normally released a blog post, or a podcast, I should say, I was up to my neck in prep. Just like anyone else who trains for a marathon, I was taking as many things off my plate as possible so that I could focus on the participants of my events because they deserve that. So that's why I didn't do a podcast, because I know where my line is. And even though I would like to believe that some of you were disappointed because I didn't do a podcast, I knew that the people that follow me are amazing and that they're loving and considerate and that you would forgive me that. Especially if you knew I was just trying to take care of myself. And that's exactly what I was doing. So that is exactly what I am doing today. I am very thankful that this is an audible podcast because you can't see me and you can't see my tank top and my boxer shorts and my hair all over and no makeup because it's the first day I'm not working and I'm just enjoying the freedom. But that doesn't mean I didn't think of you. And it doesn't mean I didn't want to explain what happened, because I did, because you matter to me. We have to matter to each other if this is ever going to change. And I still believe things are going to change. I can see how much has changed between my life and my mom's life. And I see no reason to believe that's not going to continue. So I hope that made sense. Thank you so much. I hope you missed me. If not, that's okay too. I know you have a life, but I am back. And for the foreseeable future, I will be here as together we walk the path to reconciliation. Until next week, I love you. Take care. Bye-bye.